So it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and for every video between now and January 1st, 2021, I'm going to be wearing a different Christmas jumper just because I love the holidays, and I'm pretty sure you do too. But a big question I get asked from day traders and stock market investors is, why is December so sketchy when it comes to investing? And also January. Volume is very light and it can be very, very difficult to perfectly assess what to invest or trade. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you some of my favorite stock market tips and tricks when it comes to investing during the holiday period. So without further ado, let's crack on after the intro. So as always, if you're new here, please do hit that subscribe button, turn the bell, and seems it is the season of giving, please make sure and double, triple, and quadruple check that like button is turned blue. It massively helps me out and it is very much appreciated. If you want to support the channel, check out the Patreon links in the description. There's a chat room there and there's different perks as well, including a WhatsApp group where you can message me directly, but there is a limited space available. If you're not from the US or Canada, check out the pinned comment in the comments and you can join eToro, deposit, make a trade, and quite simply get free lifetime access to LWT chat room. And there you can talk to me directly. I'm in there every single day. So 2020 has probably been one of the craziest years for a lot of people watching this channel. I'd love to say it was the craziest year ever, but my 22 to 23 year was pretty damn crazy, if you know what I mean. I did a lot of traveling and searching. But 2020 has been crazy for the stock market too. We've seen arguably one of the biggest dips and one of the biggest rips in a year alone. But the stock market is very, very volatile in itself. Over the last build, basically since 2018, we've had many sharp, steep dips and many quick recoveries. How long can this continue? That's a second video in itself. Will a recession come? When will it come? What will happen? There will be a recession at some point. That is without a shadow. But have we seen that happen already? It's a question that needs to be answered. But this video is about how can you invest in December. December is a very, very strange month in itself. Throw in the strange year as well, it can be chaos because every stock, in my opinion, is not truly valued, and that becomes down to the lack of volume. With trading days being less and less in December than any other month, the market can be very, very unpredictable. But it is a good thing as well, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But quite frankly, you've got to look at it this way. Hedge funds, big people who are trading, want to pack up and they want to go home and spend time with their lives. So I spent 12 years in the wealth management and finance sector. And let me tell you, the whole goal of December is to get finished as early as you can and go and spend time with your family and enjoy them extra few days of drinking vodka straight with the odd little pickle. Yeah, that's what they do in Russia apparently. But because of this, a lot of hedge funds and big players disappear early, and that can really, really reflect the stock market. You get some crazy pumps from new traders who don't know what they're doing, but also you get some crazy selling for people who just want to close out of positions, which means you can pick up stocks, certain stocks, at a very good discount that are not fair valued. So the first tip would really be find stocks that are fair valued, that are having big red days, that are having red days that don't really justify and having light volume, because come middle of January when things start reopening up in the finance world, them stocks should bounce because people will be looking also for that discount. So if you're looking at buying a stock and holding it for a couple of years, you can find the odd gem during December. But you can also find stuff that's pumped up and unjustified, and then again come January, people are going to want to lock in them profits, especially hedge funds. Think about it this way. If you close up at the beginning of December as a hedge fund, and you come to January and you found a stock that you're monitoring, like let's say it's Apple, has made you your goal of 5, 6, 7% a year, you can lock in that trade in January and the rest of the year is a free ride. Now, I'm not saying that happens all the time, but you've got to think about it that way. A lot of hedge funds and a lot of financial brokers will lock in trades. For example, I know an IFA that actually is about 4 years in lieu of his clients. He promises to make them about 7% a year, and because of this dip, he sold out at the right time and bought back in. I think he made like 30% plus, and he's locked in his next few years' gains. So most of his clients are just sat in cash waiting for the next dip, and the clients trust him completely because of the knowledge that he just did. Unbelievable skills from the IFA, but that said, it's a good example of people that are probably going to be sat a lot more in cash. After all, Warren Buffett and co are in mega amounts of cash. So bear that in mind, it's going to be a light session. More light than last year, I'm pretty damn sure. Now, tip number 2 would be always, as I say in this channel, size in slowly. Just because you see Apple at a discount doesn't mean you should go all in with leverage. Buy in as you normally would. but diversify as well. So if you see Apple down 10% over the holidays, it's probably not going to happen, but let's say it is, buy in small positions. If you're going to buy $1,000 worth, buy $250 every single week over the holidays. You'll get a good average, and hopefully Apple comes further down and you get an even better average. But that way you're still getting into that stock at a discount and you're getting a very, very good average. And that's just genuinely good practice for any time of the year. You should always be sizing in. I never, well actually I think I've only ever done it twice, get into full size allocation to any stock. And that's because the stocks I get into tend to go up and I can't chase them up. So I just look for another play, which adds diversification to my portfolio. And that's what's kept me around all this time, to be honest. Tip number 3 would be don't chase. If you see a stock that's gone up, say 10%, 20% in the last couple of weeks, do not chase it, especially around this period. Companies are gonna wanna close their books with profit at the end of the tax year next year. And it's a good place for them to slowly start diluting and selling shares. We've seen Tesla sell shares and we've seen other companies look at selling shares too. So just be aware that that could raise its head and people could panic out. So if you see a chase going up, don't chase it. A good example of that in the last video, I talked about SRAC. I didn't chase it all the way up, thankfully, and actually yesterday we seen SRAC come down a decent amount. And this I'm talking about Tuesday just gone. And I actually took a small position in it and I'm hoping it comes further down over the next couple of days so I can still keep my solid entry average. But my point quite simply is if you see something running up, do not be in that chase. You want to be buying the dips, and if you miss the ride, that's fine. Find another ride, get an Uber, jump on a train, find a boat, go for a run, do whatever you need to do. Just don't jump on a car that's moving. And the final tip really would be sort of similar, which is be careful of pumps, all right? A lot of chat pumps can come out, especially if there's light volume. Doesn't really happen with your mega caps of your Apples and of sort, because people tend to still have a decent sized play in there. But if you're looking at your, even the EV sector, I think is going to be very, very volatile over the coming weeks. And if you look at some of the weed stocks and stuff where there's just slightly less volume, rather than your tech sector where there's loads of volume, you're going to get a lot of pumps. And just be careful on that. If you're a holder of that, don't be afraid to sell some size in them pumps. It's also a good thing. Now, the final word of advice would be set up 2021 with a bang. And what I mean by that is January, the beginning of January is also sort of like volume, and people are sort of getting over their hangovers and coming back to work. Their research is done mainly for the year in January. If you're a hedge fund and you're closing up your books and this is what you did for the last year, you're going to want to start positive on January, but you're not going to want to hit a home run. And that said, I know I told you earlier that some people are going to want to close out of December with a positive in January. It's rare that happens. But you're going to want to start January with definitely not a minus month. You're going to want to start it slowly and steadily. But that means they're not going to be buying in bulk into majority of stocks. So start January off with a bang. Make sure you're fully prepared. Don't be afraid to sit in cash and wait for that perfect opportunity to come. But start researching stocks. The stock market is closed more than any other days in the month this month of December. So make sure you've got all that research ready and you can tee up that January 2021 the way it should be teed up. I've got my eye on literally 16 stocks for next year alone, and I'm not in any of them. I have got my portfolio for this year set up and ready, and I'm already looking at next year's 16 stocks. Now, I will probably only invest in 2 or 3 of them, but that's just me. Now, what I'd like to know from you is in the comments, what is your favorite stock that you bought last year? And was it a winner or a loser? Let me know that in the comments. Please do me the kindest favor. It is Christmas after all. Hit that like button until it turns blue. Subscribe, turn the bell, and that's it from me. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.